Imagine walking down a dark road, unaware that just a few meters ahead lies a massive hole. This is the reality for those who ignore the signs of high blood sugar. The body always sends warnings, small signals that something is wrong, but many people only realize it when they've already fallen into the abyss of diabetes. Recognizing symptoms early can prevent severe complications like kidney damage, vision loss, and even amputations. And the worst part? Sometimes, the signs are there but go unnoticed, dismissed as just a passing phase. How often does someone feel inexplicably tired and blame it on overwork? Or notice extreme thirst but chalk it up to hot weather? The truth is, diabetes symptoms like high blood sugar and elevated glucose levels appear subtly and can be mistaken for everyday issues. The danger lies precisely in this: normalizing the abnormal. When these signs are ignored, blood sugar continues to rise, causing silent damage. And by the time reality sets in, there are often irreversible consequences. But what if it were possible to avoid all of this? What if, at the first sign of elevated glucose, someone could take action and prevent the problem from worsening? Fortunately, this is possible. Those who understand their body's signals have a chance to turn things around before it's too late. Small lifestyle changes can be decisive in preventing complications. The problem is that not everyone knows what these signs are, and that's exactly why we need to talk about them now. Have you noticed getting up more often at night to use the bathroom? This could be one of the first signs of high blood sugar. What happens is that when there's excess sugar in the blood, the body needs to get rid of it somehow. Since the excess glucose can't be properly absorbed by cells, the kidneys step in, trying to expel what they can through urine. The problem is that in this process, it's not just sugar that's eliminated. Large amounts of water are also lost, leading to progressive dehydration. And don't think this happens overnight. At first, a person might think they're drinking more fluids than usual or that the weather is drier, but the reality is that high blood sugar is overloading the kidneys. If the problem isn't identified and treated, this overload can, over time, lead to serious kidney complications, increasing the risk of kidney failure. Additionally, frequent trips to the bathroom directly impact sleep quality, leading to more fatigue and irritability during the day. Now, think about it. If getting up once or twice a night is already annoying, imagine going through this every night without rest. Beyond accumulated fatigue, the body begins to suffer from a lack of restorative sleep. And the cycle repeats. Wake up to urinate, feel thirsty, drink more water, and the problem continues. If you've noticed this change in your daily life, it's worth checking your glucose levels and understanding what your body is trying to tell you. But this is just the beginning. Suddenly, the text on your phone looks blurry, street signs are hard to read, and that feeling of tired eyes won't go away. Many people attribute this to excessive screen time or natural aging, but the truth could be more concerning: high glucose levels. When blood sugar is high for too long, the blood vessels in the eyes begin to suffer damage, gradually compromising vision. At first, the problem may be subtle, but if left untreated, it can lead to permanent blindness. This happens because excess sugar causes swelling in the eye's lens, altering its ability to focus. In some cases, blurred vision may even improve temporarily, leading the person to believe it was just a moment of eye strain. But the danger lies precisely there. Unnoticed, the damage continues silently. Additionally, high blood sugar can lead to diabetic retinopathy, a serious condition that causes bleeding inside the eye and can even detach the retina. And once the retina is affected, there's no way to fully reverse the damage. The good news is that identifying this symptom early can prevent serious complications. Regular visits to an ophthalmologist are also crucial to detect changes before they become irreversible. So, if your eyes are sending you warning signals, don't ignore them. And speaking of signals, the next one might be closer than you think. That feeling of dry mouth that won't go away, even after drinking glass after glass of water. Constant thirst might seem harmless, but when it happens intensely and frequently, it can be a clear sign of high glucose levels. What many people don't realize is that this extreme thirst is directly linked to excess sugar in the blood. Since the kidneys are working overtime to eliminate sugar through urine, the body ends up losing a lot of fluid in the process. The result? An endless cycle. Drink water, urinate, feel thirsty again. And it's not just ordinary thirst. People with high blood sugar report that their mouth feels so dry it's like they've just crossed a desert. Saliva, which normally lubricates the mouth and aids digestion, decreases drastically, sometimes even making it difficult to swallow food. Additionally, the lack of saliva increases the risk of oral infections, like canker sores and gingivitis, and can even lead to stronger, sour-smelling breath, a detail many overlook. If excessive thirst is accompanied by a metallic taste in the mouth, it's time to sound the alarm. But what if this thirst isn't just a temporary issue? If ignored, the dehydration caused by high blood sugar can lead to even more concerning symptoms, like dizziness, headaches, and dry skin. And the worst part? Even drinking more and more water, the relief is short-lived because the real problem, high blood sugar, is still there. If you've been feeling this unusual thirst, it's worth checking your glucose levels before other symptoms appear. Few people talk about this, but high blood sugar can be directly linked to a drop in libido and erectile dysfunction. And it's not just a psychological or stress-related issue. When blood sugar levels are elevated for too long, nerves and blood vessels begin to suffer damage. The result? Circulation to sensitive areas of the body, like the sexual organs, becomes compromised, affecting both desire and response. The problem is that many take a long time to connect this symptom with diabetes, thinking it's just fatigue or anxiety. In men, excess glucose impairs blood flow to the penis, making erections weaker or even impossible. In women, high blood sugar can cause vaginal dryness and reduce sensitivity, making intercourse uncomfortable. Additionally, uncontrolled blood sugar affects the production of hormones important for sexual desire, like testosterone and estrogen. The result? A gradual disinterest, often mistaken for a loss of connection in the relationship, when in reality, the body is crying out for help. But there's good news. This condition can be reversed. By stabilizing blood sugar, circulation improves, hormones return to balance, and libido reappears. Managing blood sugar can be a path to regaining not just daily energy but also pleasure and quality of life. But the next symptom might be even more concerning.
Your health is in your hands, and in what you eat. Have you ever imagined relieving pain, boosting your energy, and strengthening your immunity just by choosing the right foods? This isn't magic, it's science. The link is in the pinned comment and the description. Check it out and start your transformation today.
A simple cut on the foot that takes weeks to heal. A small wound on the leg that turns into a major infection. These situations might seem normal to those who don't pay attention to their body signals, but they're a strong warning of high blood sugar. When blood sugar is elevated for too long, blood vessels begin to deteriorate, hindering circulation. This prevents oxygen and nutrients from reaching tissues, delaying wound healing and making the body an easy target for infections. And that's not all. Over time, the body's natural defenses become compromised, increasing the risk of a small injury turning into something much more serious. In extreme cases, non-healing wounds can lead to deep infections and even the need for amputation, especially in people who don't properly control their blood sugar. That's why any wound that takes too long to heal should be taken seriously. If a small cut is still open after days or weeks, it could be a sign that high glucose is impairing cell regeneration. The most concerning part is that many people don't notice these small injuries until they're at an advanced stage. That's why observing any changes in the skin, treating wounds quickly, and maintaining good blood sugar control are essential. Additionally, keeping the skin hydrated and avoiding walking barefoot, especially for those who already have diabetes, can prevent injuries from turning into major problems. But the next symptom might be even stranger, and few people connect it to high glucose. You know that feeling of having eaten a feast, even after just a small meal? Many people think this is related to poor digestion or a slow stomach, but it could be a sign that high glucose is affecting the digestive system. The reason? Excess sugar in the blood can damage the nerves in the stomach, a condition known as gastroparesis. This causes food to remain in the stomach longer, leading to a constant feeling of bloating and discomfort. And the symptoms don't stop there. Since gastric emptying slows down, a person may experience nausea, heartburn, acid reflux, and even loss of appetite. In some cases, there may be episodes of vomiting undigested food, indicating that the stomach simply isn't working as it should. This directly affects nutrition, as nutrient absorption becomes irregular, potentially leading to weakness and even malnutrition in severe cases. Often, those suffering from this problem end up thinking they need to eat less, when in reality, they need to treat the root cause, high blood sugar. The good news is that this condition can be reversed. Maintaining strict control of blood sugar can prevent the progression of gastroparesis and restore normal digestive function. If you've been feeling constantly full without an apparent reason, it's time to pay attention to your glucose levels before the problem worsens. And speaking of fatigue, the next symptom is one of the most common and dangerous. Waking up tired, even after a good night's sleep. Feeling like daily tasks require triple the effort. That unexplained lack of energy, as if it has simply evaporated. If this sounds familiar, it could be a sign of high glucose levels. What happens is that when blood sugar is high, the body can't use it properly to produce energy. The result? Cells starve, and the person feels profound fatigue, as if they're always in low battery mode. Unlike normal fatigue that goes away with rest, this type of exhaustion persists all day, no matter how many hours the person sleeps. This happens because glucose, which should be turned into fuel for the body, gets stuck in the blood, unable to enter cells. The pancreas tries to compensate by releasing more insulin, but if there's insulin resistance, this effort is in vain. The consequence is a vicious cycle. More sugar in the blood, less energy available, more fatigue and weakness. The worst part is that many people mistake this symptom for stress or a lack of vitamins, delaying the search for a proper diagnosis. But a simple blood sugar test can reveal the true cause of this exhaustion. Have you ever felt a strange tingling in your feet, as if you were stepping on something rough or hot, even without an apparent reason? Or maybe a burning sensation, as if your feet were touching hot coals? These could be signs that high glucose is affecting your nerves, a condition known as diabetic neuropathy. Excess sugar in the blood slowly attacks the nervous system, impairing communication between the brain and the body's limbs. At first, it's a mild discomfort, but over time, it can progress to intense pain and even loss of sensation. The danger of diabetic neuropathy is that it often develops silently. A person feels occasional tingling and ignores it, thinking it's just a cramp or poor circulation. But as nerve damage progresses, the feet can become so numb that small cuts and wounds go unnoticed. And therein lies the risk. Without noticing injuries, infections can arise and worsen quickly. In more extreme cases, this lack of sensation can lead to serious wounds that don't heal, increasing the risk of amputation. Those who already experience frequent numbness or tingling in their feet should adopt habits that improve circulation, like light walks and massages for the lower limbs. Additionally, regular visits to a doctor to assess nerve health can prevent serious problems in the future. If you've been feeling this type of discomfort, it's a clear warning from your body that something needs to change. But this isn't the only visible sign. Sometimes, the skin's appearance itself can indicate that glucose is out of control. Have you noticed dark spots appearing on your skin, especially on your neck, armpits, or groin? Many people think this is just dirt or poor hygiene, but the reality could be quite different. These spots could be a sign of insulin resistance, one of the early stages of diabetes. This condition, called acanthosis nigricans, occurs when excess insulin in the body causes skin cells to grow faster than they should, resulting in progressive darkening in certain areas. The problem is that many people ignore these spots, believing they're just normal skin marks. Some try to remove them with exfoliation or whitening creams, but without success, because the root of the problem lies within the body, not on the surface. When blood sugar is constantly elevated, the body responds by producing more insulin, and this leads to skin thickening. If not treated in time, this symptom can progress to a more serious case of type 2 diabetes, making blood sugar control even more difficult. The good news is that these spots can fade over time, as long as glucose is controlled. But sometimes, the danger isn't just in the skin, it can be hidden in how the body reacts to heat and cold. Have you ever touched something hot with your feet and felt nothing? Or stepped on a cold floor and noticed the temperature didn't feel as intense as it should? This change in foot temperature sensitivity is a concerning sign that nerves may be affected by high glucose levels. Excess sugar in the blood attacks nerve endings, reducing the body's ability to detect temperature changes. At first, the sensation is subtle, but over time, it can progress to complete numbness, leaving the person vulnerable to burns and injuries without realizing it. This type of peripheral neuropathy is one of the most dangerous symptoms of high blood sugar because it makes the feet an easy target for infections. Imagine stepping on a sharp object, getting a cut, or even burning yourself with hot water without feeling enough pain to react. Since the body doesn't alert you to these injuries, small lesions can turn into serious wounds that heal slowly due to compromised circulation. In extreme cases, this can lead to ulcers and, if not treated in time, even amputation. The best way to avoid complications is to pay attention to the early signs of this loss of sensation. If you've noticed that your feet don't respond to cold or heat the way they used to, test it out. Touch different surfaces and see if you feel the temperature correctly. If your body is already warning you, maybe it's time to act before it's too late. And speaking of acting, there's a story that can show you how this makes all the difference. Imagine someone who spent years ignoring their body's signals. Always tired, constantly thirsty, feeling strange tingling in their feet, but blaming it on daily stress. Until one day, a routine test revealed the truth. Their glucose was at 240 milligrams per deciliter, far above the ideal. The doctor was clear: if nothing was done, the risk of developing type 2 diabetes and all its complications was huge. That's when it hit them: it was time to change. The transformation began with diet. Ultra-processed, sugar-laden foods were set aside. Instead, vegetables, lean proteins, and low-glycemic carbohydrates became part of daily meals. White bread was replaced with whole grain, soda with water and natural teas, and quick snacks with nuts and low-sugar fruits. Small changes, but they made all the difference. Over time, glucose spikes began to decrease, energy returned, and symptoms started to disappear. After a few weeks, a new test showed the impact of these choices. Glucose, once at 240, had dropped to 115 milligrams per deciliter, a number that seemed impossible to reach without medication, but was achieved through lifestyle changes alone. The feeling of well-being and control over their health was indescribable. The most amazing part? This isn't an isolated story. Thousands of people have reversed prediabetes and high blood sugar simply by adopting healthier habits. And now, you have the opportunity to do the same. But first, there's something essential you need to do. If this information resonated with you, if any of these signs have appeared in your life or the life of someone close to you, then you now know how important it is to pay attention to high blood sugar. Unfortunately, many still ignore these warnings and only discover the problem when they're already facing serious complications. That's why your participation here is so important. Sharing this knowledge can literally help someone avoid serious health issues. So, if you haven't subscribed to the channel yet, this is the perfect time to do so. Just click the subscribe button and turn on the bell to receive more content that can transform your health. And of course, if this video helped you in any way, leave a like. It shows us we're on the right track and helps spread this content to more people who need this information. The algorithm may not care about your health, but you can make a difference in ensuring this message reaches those who truly need it. And more, if you've had any experience with high glucose or know someone facing this challenge, share it in the comments. Let's exchange experiences and learn together. Your story could motivate others to change their lives.